Previously on $1 Billion Showdown.
You guys will be tasked with selling trading cards.
Our first two entrepreneurs faced off in a fierce startup challenge.
Buy this one, get one free.
While Kristen hit a home run deal.
Okay, so 2 for 1.
Aaron ultimately hit the grand slam.
Yes!
Earning more than triple the amount of customers, leading him to victory.
The winner of the startup challenge is Aaron.
Aaron is now exempt from the surprise disadvantage in the Big Idea Challenge. $1 Billion Showdown continues right now.
I feel awesome. I just found out I won the baseball card challenge, and it feels really good because, man, that was tough. That was really tough, and to pull out a win on that one, it's priceless.
I hate losing. I really do. I'm competitive, really with myself. I come up with these ideas, with these strategies, and then, you know, if I lose to another Titan, I'm hungry to get back in the ring again.
Let's talk about the Big Idea Challenge. You guys will be tasked with presenting me the next best no sugar item to review. When I was younger, I tried to get in front of GNC on 17 different occasions. So what did I do? I showed up at 5 a.m. to give the presentation of my life. That is the type of passion I'm expecting out of both of you. So once you figure out what your no sugar item is, build the presentation of your life. I want to see marketing. I want to see the competitors. I want to see who the target consumer is. You will be tasked to present that to me and my team of guest judges, and we will review. All right, guys, go prep and let's show down.
With a long night ahead of them, Aaron and Kristen begin preparation for their big presentation.
Brad announces the new product. I'm thinking, how am I gonna become an expert on this whole industry in a very small amount of time? So I am in research mode, which is almost always where I start for any problem set. I'm reading just about the no sugar industry, innovators, trends, and so I started calling folks and just sort of asking questions about, like, what do you think is missing in the market? What are some ideas you have?
2 hours to prep is really intense. You only have such a small amount of time to pitch something that's so big or that could be really big, and you're pitching it to people that are extremely successful and they could actually make it a reality.
The reason that I went with this particular item is because it seemed to be missing from the market, it seemed to be innovative, and it seemed to be risky.
No Sugar Company is about providing genuinely good food.
I realize that alcohol converts to sugar in the bloodstream, but it's a product that has a duality. And this will always be true about me. I like products that do more than one thing.
Hey, Kristen, how's it going?
Hey, Brad, nice to see you again.
Great. I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Steve Jewer. You literally are in royalty today. Steve Jewer has been with the premier retailer Costco for the past 37 years and has been the vice president of that company. He recently retired in January, but he's been good enough to come on today to give us a few advice and tips. Steve?
I'd say, first of all, to start off, I would say make it a presentation and not a sales pitch.
Okay.
That would be my first piece of advice, because
sure.
It's not about selling, it's about actually knowing what you're presenting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Kristen, for you, I have a question. You have a chance to ask your first and only $1 billion question. Before I leave, what would that be? No? All right.
No,
well,
I do.
You do? You got one?
Yes,
Right.
since I have you
Let's
here,
hear
I
it.
don't want you to go. Brad, what do you see as the next big thing in the no sugar industry?
You know what? That is a great question, because I love trying to remove sugar from the food chain. So I actually think that the entire multivitamin and gummies, the entire performance gummies category that is littered with sugar, and there's actually more sugar in all those gummies than the active ingredients, will be the biggest trend to hit the vitamin sets. And so medication, cough drops, gummies, all those performance things can be revamped to having no sugar. So that's what I think the biggest trend is.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, Steve, do not give her all the secrets, and I'll touch base with you soon, all right?
Sure. See you.
Amazing. All right.
Thanks.
With Steve's guidance, Kristen hopes to shake off her previous loss and claim victory. Meanwhile, Aaron thinks he's come up with a product that will keep his winning streak alive.
The strategy for my pitch presentation is just to go in there and be direct, be myself, and sell the product. We have it all. With no sodium, no sugar, we got all the flavor with none of the junk. When I'm done, I want them to actually know what I'm selling, know the product, and actually I hope that they're, think it's a good idea and it's something that they haven't thought of before. People love flavor. That's why no sugar, just spice is all about
No, I can't hear any of that. Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Doing, Brad?
Good to see you.
You too.
I have a very important person for you to meet. This is my Chief Strategy Officer, Jelka. She is as smart as they come. She is an elite strategist, and she is my right-hand woman. My success is based on her help. You are in great company today. I cannot wait for you guys to get acquainted and learn as much as you possibly can. She is a dynamo. But before I leave, I think you may have $1 billion question that you can ask me.
Ooh. What is, in a few words, a perfect presentation to you?
A perfect presentation is first and foremost, you gotta pitch yourself. After you pitch yourself, you need to pitch your product and show that it solves a problem. And it's going to grow the person's category. They are going to benefit from that. But most importantly, every single time you go into a room, you need to engage that person. They see thousands of you every single day. They need to remember you.
I already feel better.
There you go. I'll leave you two to get at it. Enjoy. You're an elite company.
Thank you, Brad.
All right, take care.
Should we sit down?
Please.
A couple of pieces of advice. I think that the first thing that I would suggest, just with all the years that I've experienced presentations, I would suggest to make sure you keep your ingredient deck small, because as a buyer, it's typical for us to listen for a couple of seconds and then we head to the back of the deck. So keep it small, keep it tight.
What do you mean by ingredient deck? Like listen,
Sorry,
listen
your presentation deck.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the numbers of this business. That's not good. And I knew that that was one of the biggest weaknesses for me in this challenge.
Retail is detail, so you need to inspect what you expect. What that means is that you need to know your product. You need to know your product inside out. You need to know where it's manufactured. You need to know who your competitors are. You need to be able to answer as many questions during the presentation as possible.
There are certain reports and data that I'd like to have that I don't have. So I'm thinking I'm unprepared. I don't know all the things I need to know. I'm going to make a fool of myself in front of these experts. Oh no.
One of the things that you always have to start with first is you have to know your audience. What problem are you solving of theirs? So if we're talking about a product, you have to know what's already on their shelves and how is your product going to be any different.
I'm actually really confident in my idea. I feel like the research that I've been doing, there isn't really any companies doing it.
Know your numbers. That's one thing where we usually get very fumbly answers. So you don't have to talk about them, but have them in the background.
I feel like it's something they haven't seen before. I feel like it's something creative, and I feel like it's something that people are just gonna love, and it's gonna sell itself.
And the third thing is you have to be a storyteller when you present. So what is the story of you? What is the story of your brand? Why are you in that particular category? Tell the story, engage them, and I think if you do that, and you do that successfully, you're gonna win.
I love it.
As their preparation time concludes, Aaron and Kristen are now ready to step into the boardroom to present their innovative no-sugar products. The main event starts now.
Aaron, come on by.
This presentation's the most important thing in my life right now. It could take me to much bigger and better things. This pitch, a lot rides on that. To tell you a little about myself, I started a furniture business from the ground up, and we specialize in reclaimed wood and driftwood. After building furniture for about a decade, I learned two things. Hard work without creativity is void of success, and vice versa. So I plan on bringing hard work and creativity into my next venture, which is no sugar, just spice. Now, my family's Brazilian, right? And if you know a few things about the Brazilian culture, there's a couple things that are innate in their DNA. One, obviously soccer. Two, family. And three, steak. Now, some of the best memories I had of a child was seasoning the meat the night before with my father. And that was the thing that actually sparked my interest in no sugar, just spice. Now, let's be real. People love flavor. And sugar and spice, the problem with seasonings is that they're full of large amounts of sugar, sodium, and if you've ever looked on the back of a bottle, you would almost die of a heart attack from looking at the sodium amount and the sugar additives in it. Our goal is to cut the sugar and sodium from the product. Also, what makes this different? Well, a thing that makes this different is we want to work with top herbalists to pick out, we want to be able to, bring down people's blood pressure while they're seasoning their food.
So Aaron, you are doing a great job. I want to bring down your blood pressure right now. Just relax. The three of us are friends here.
Yep.
We love what you're saying. Just tell us it from the heart and keep on going.
Okay. So, let's talk numbers.
We love those numbers.
In 2021, the global market was $36.9 billion. And by 2030, it's projected to be almost $60 billion. And that's globally. Here in the United States in 2021, we had almost a $21 billion industry. And they say by 2030, we're gonna have a $30 billion industry just here in the United States. Now, as you can see, 27% of all seasonings are meat and poultry. And it's expected to grow another 32% by the end of this year. Our target audiences: restaurant, individuals, prepackaged foods, food delivery services, and of course hospitals, because let's face it, the food's terrible there and they need no sugar, just spice. So with that being said, can you imagine lowering your blood pressure while cooking your steak? Can you imagine lowering your blood sugar while spicing up your tofu? Well, you can do that. With no sugar, just spice, you can have your steak and you can eat it too.
Nice.
Any questions?
Well, we have a lot of questions for you, my friend.
Man, that was one of the hardest things I think I've ever done in my life.
I think the market's huge, and I especially think that market grew during the pandemic when people were cooking at home more often. I love the idea of shortening the ingredient deck. Usually means that there's quality ingredients that are inside. Hard to get a good tasting spice without salt, so finding that salt replacement is key, and I'm not quite sure how you're gonna get there, but I'd be interested to see how you do that.
Talk to my wife's herb guy. He'll set you straight.
There you go. And I think that there doesn't need to be a place for sugar and spices. To be honest with you, you can get there without sugar. So,
I think your angle and your phrase, no sugar, just spice, is really catchy. I love that. One thing that was missing for me was numbers. So I'm an analytical person. I would have loved to see a sample, how much do you think that you could actually produce this for? How much do you think you could sell it for? What those margins look like, so that we have a better understanding of the numbers behind the product.
First, let me just tell you about your presentation. You came on and you sold yourself first. You told us your background story. You kind of had me right at the end and were like, you know what? You're a real entrepreneur. You could tell just by the looks in your face how bad you wanted this. And that to me is engaging. So you had me engaged right from the beginning, and I give you a lot of kudos for that. You presented the entire market opportunity, which was great. You had a great tagline. You showed the financials. You showed the opportunity. You know what? I think you did a really good job with your presentation. So with that, thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Whew. That was intense. I feel really good. I felt like I had a couple rough moments where I wish that I would have just kind of paused for a second, and I wish I would have just kind of taken a breath. But other than those few moments, I really felt like they liked my product. I felt like it was an idea that they could actually, run with. And so, yeah, that part was awesome. But man, that was one of the hardest things I think I've ever done in my life.
As Aaron's presentation comes to a close,
Hey, Kristen, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
it's time for Kristen to mix things up.
Doing that internal dialogue, like you've got this, and thinking, no matter what, just keep going.
My name is Kristen Corpian, and I am an attorney by trade, but entrepreneur at heart. And about 4 years ago, went out on my own and launched my own law firm. Just last year, we were named one of the fastest growing 500 law firms in the country. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship because I was raised by an entrepreneur myself. My mom raised my sister and I as a single mom, and now both of us are entrepreneurs. That being the case, let's talk about the problem.
Oh no, you're having technical difficulties.
I sure am. This must be the disadvantage that they were talking about. It is a big disadvantage.
Kristen, all right. You lost the startup challenge. This is your disadvantage. You gotta keep going, let's do it.
I want you all to imagine a time in your life when you were focused on your health. Weight loss maybe, or something else. And think about what your
I
daily...
noticed you looked at me and not Joe.
No. Think about your daily journey. What was your day-to-day like? Probably you were investing a significant amount of time and energy thinking about what you were putting in your body. And while you're spending your time that way, you also want to enjoy, like most of us, time with friends and family. And asking yourself some hard questions. Do I want to undo all the hard work I've done in order to enjoy a nice cocktail? And so the opportunity that I see is, I would love to show it to you, but it's your tail.
Your tail?
Your tail. A powder-based mocktail mix. No sugar, of course. We looked at alcoholic mixers and their global market. We looked at powder-based drinks and alcoholic drinks overall. And together, there's at least very conservatively $1 billion market there. The data suggests very clearly that the consumers are knowledgeable, educated, and they're hungry, dare I say, thirsty for additional options to consume.
The market that you're showing seems really great. My advice to you is, I love entrepreneurs. I deal with lawyers. When I see you on there, you're talking like a lawyer. And I want to hear that entrepreneurial spirit. I want to know what problem you're trying to solve. I want to know what margins you're going to provide. I want to know the good things that all entrepreneurs feast on. So let's get into that part of what you're trying to do and the problem you're trying to solve, and let's look at it that way.
Brad said I seemed lawyery. Most people hate lawyers. I know this. I'm thinking I'm going home.
Okay, so the product is a powder-based cocktail mixer, no sugar. Competitors in the market right now include Margaritaville has a single-serve mixer that claims to be no sugar. There is another product called RSVP Skinnies that has a product on the market. All of these products claim to be no sugar, but when you actually look at the ingredients, they've got sugar. And so what I see as an opportunity is to enter into this $1 billion market with a product that's in high demand and that has excellent margins. Usually on average with powder-based drinks, we're seeing at least about 40%.
60.
Even better. And so I know that the No Sugar Company has experience in the powdered drink space and innovating there. So it seems like a likely fit.
So this can cross all state lines without issue. This is just a powder that you would bring in with alcohol.
Correct. You could choose to chase it with alcohol, in which case it would be a cocktail, or you could choose not to, in which case it would be a mocktail, and you still get to enjoy that flavor profile.
Okay.
Technically, you're still comparing, non-alcoholic dry mix would be essentially a fruit drink.
Fair enough.
The non-alcoholic is growing hugely.
It's a super growth
Yeah.
category for sure. But it's got to taste exactly like a cocktail.
All right, well, you've come in on excruciatingly difficult circumstances. We've all been there, to be honest with you. I actually remember when I was delivering a presentation in GNC, I looked in my bag and I didn't have it. And so, similarly, something like this kind of happened to you, and you're in front of a stage with people with 37 years experience at one of the biggest box retailers in the world, and you got Jelka here who has all of her experience, and you rode with it, and you did an amazing job getting all the things that you prepared for out in front of us. So I commend you for your effort, and I can't wait to touch base with my team on your performance.
Thank you very much. Brad,
Amazing.
Jelka, Steve, thank you.
Awesome. All right.
I don't like compliments that I haven't earned, and I don't feel that I've done the best job. I feel I could have done better, and so I appreciate him throwing me the bone, but I'm thinking in that moment of everything that I didn't do good enough.
Back at the helipad, Brad, with the help of his guest judges, must review both performances. For Aaron and Kristen, it's Judgment Day.
All right, guys. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts.
Personally, I think for Kristen, I think that she's a wonderful speaker. I think that she handled the challenge well. She's smart. She's clearly a well thought out presentation. She was in full control. She did not need cue cards as opposed to the other contestant.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jelka, what were your thoughts?
I like them both for different reasons. Kristen was really poised and professional and well prepared, but she already has a successful law firm. Would she really be dedicated to running another company that isn't in her forte in CPG space? Aaron, I found he's a very passionate entrepreneur. I think that he would give you his all, he would be very dedicated, and he would probably pull all-nighters to make things happen. On the con side with Aaron, he wasn't well prepared, so it's a tough decision.
Yeah, it really is a tough decision, and you've given me advice that has a clear strategy of madness. With that being said, I think I've made my decision. It's time to call them in. Welcome, entrepreneurs. Good to see you guys again.
Likewise.
How you doing?
You guys were placed in just unreal circumstances. To be able to put a presentation together in 24 hours was crazy. You guys both did a phenomenal job presenting, gathering information, and building those decks. I cannot commend you guys enough. It showed the true entrepreneurial spirit, and I appreciate it so much. So I'd like to know how you guys felt you did. So Kristen, I'm gonna start with you.
One, I appreciate the opportunity, I really do. And I know that when someone, speaks to me who doesn't know about my industry and they pretend to be an expert and they're not, they look like a jerk. And so for me, I was really nervous to be presenting in front of Titans and not be researched the way that I would usually like to be researched. When the PowerPoint turned off, I was terrified. But I do appreciate the opportunity to grow, to learn, and so I did my best.
Awesome. Aaron, what about you?
I thought I started off real strong, and then I feel like I got caught in the weeds a little bit. I think once I took a breath, I was able to kind of come back from that. But yeah, overall, I think I did good.
Aaron, when I met you, you're the prototypical entrepreneur. You came in and I knew right from the get-go, you were going to be a hustler. You were going to work, you were going to be creative, you're going to do whatever it takes. And I have so much respect for that because that's really what all I had when I was in your position. You came up with a really solid idea. We haven't even looked at spices, dry or wet, at no sugar. So that was a great idea in the time period that you have. That was incredible and well done.
Thank you, Brad.
Kristen, again, when I met you as well, I could see how polished you were. I could see all that lawyer experience that you had. And you were given a significant disadvantage. And you literally took a split second to pivot. I thought your idea was going to be a really challenging one. I'm not sure the marketability of it, but ultimately, your presentation and your strategic vision was incredible. This is the worst part of this position. I've consulted with Steve, I've talked it over all night with Jelka as my right-hand woman, and I've come to this decision. Aaron, Kristen, the loser of this challenge and whose billion-dollar opportunity has ended. Aaron.
I'm upset. I feel like I got a little robbed.
I wish you the absolute best. You are honestly going to be a fantastic entrepreneur.
They loved my product. They loved the idea. They were talking about it.
And I could not be more proud of you for what you accomplished.
If that in and of itself didn't make my pitch like successful, then I don't know what pitch would be successful.
I wish you nothing but the absolute best. Thank you for everything you gave.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
it.
Steve, Jelka. Oh, congratulations. What I have is something you can't teach. It's something you're born with. The sky's the limit because I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep moving and I'm gonna be a billionaire one day.
Congratulations. You earned this. Amazing job. You have now made it to the finals, and you are one step closer to winning the biggest prize in television history, a 20% stake in my next billion-dollar company.
We're moving forward. You got another chance at this.
Rest up.
I'm hardworking and I have failed many times in my life. I always get back up.
And I will see you in the finals.
Thank you so much, Steve.
And I'm gonna keep doing that here.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
excited that I get more of a chance to go back into the ring.
On the next $1 Billion Showdown.
You guys will be running a car wash tomorrow.
My name is Musa. I'll be the manager for this product today.
We're gonna be charging $10 per car wash.
Bring it on down.
Where's the customers?
Make sure to subscribe to the official Brad Woodgate YouTube channel because we will be launching a brand new episode of $1 Billion Showdown right here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Also, stay tuned on information how you can become a contestant on Season 2 for your chance at $1 billion.